right, so that was 2 eggs we had for our mixture. So today we are making donuts. That was a half a cup of milk. I think it was almond milk, but you can use whichever milk you prefer. Just gonna give this a nice little quick whisk. All right, then we're gonna add a half a cup of sugar. And we're gonna add a tablespoon of baking powder. We're gonna give this a nice mix as well. And then I'm gonna add just a dab of vanilla. So I like my donuts to have that vanilla flavor. And while I'm doing this, my oil is heating. All right, then we're gonna whisk in just about a tablespoon of butter. As you can see, it's already partly melted, but we didn't want it to be all the way melted. Just gonna whisk that in really well. It's gonna help our dough be fluffy. I already like the consistency we got going on here. We're doing a good job. And most of these ingredients you already have in your house, so you can make donuts instead of Saturday morning going to get the kids donuts. Then we got 2 cups of flour. I'm sorry, 3 cups of flour, but we're not gonna put all of the flour in immediately. We're gonna do some now, give it a nice little whisk, and then do some after. So at some point soon, I'm gonna change this whisk for a spatula. Make sure we get all of our flour off the sides. Once our dough gets a little thicker. All right, I'm gonna change to a spatula here. And you can really impress the kids or the grandkids with this recipe. Making your own donuts. My mommy knows how to make donuts. My grandma knows how to make donuts. And that's why I have the gloves on as well, so I can get in there down and dirty. Add the last bit of flour, and we're just gonna get in there with our hands. Knead this dough, pull it all together. Once I get everything out of there, we are gonna clear our workspace. Give it a nice little knead to make sure everything is pulled together. This is really not hard at all, guys. Flour on there. All right, look at that. Dough is looking pretty doggone good, if I might say so myself. That's how the bakers do it, right? Just like that. I'm gonna take my gloves off. The hard part is done. Got our pizza cutter. Just gonna cut this in half here. And we're gonna cut that half in half. So you cut it into fourths. And then we're just gonna roll this out. Let me turn my burner down just a bit. Sorry, I didn't flour my roller. So we're getting a little stickage. Now I like my donuts a little thicker, so I'm not gonna roll them super thin. All right, so we got our dough cutter here. Get on the edge there. Get that right in the middle. Boom. Boom. Look at that. So we're going to do this a couple more times. Get our first batch of donuts. And you can also use the leftover dough to make donut holes. So we're just going to recycle that back into there and get a new set of dough. Just going to roll that out here. Just like that. Cut there, cut there. One more. All right. So now we're going to do, we got our donuts here. We got our frying pan ready. And here we are. Just like that. And they do not take long at all to cook. So be ready to pull them shortly after your flip. And if you've ever made like funnel cakes, it's the same premise. Flip them real quick. Look at that. Ooh, these donuts are gonna be so good. All right, now I have a plate set. We're just letting the excess oil dry off. I'm also gonna throw my donut holes in there because I'm like that. All right, so for 2 of our donuts, we have a chocolate mixture here. We are going to dunk. Look at that. I am gonna do that there, let that cool off. Getting a little messy here, guys. Dunk that next one. If y'all have a more effective way for my donuts, let me know to get them nice and chocolatey. All right, we're gonna make a glaze for our next 2 donuts. So we're just gonna set this off to the side. Don't forget about your donut holes, Jessica. So we're gonna take about 2 cups of powdered sugar, a little bit of vanilla extract, and this is just for our glaze. We're also gonna do Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And then we're gonna do about a 1/3 cup of butter. Give it a nice whisk. Oh yeah, thank you, Ryan. You know what? I might need a little bit more. Just gonna add a little bit of milk to this to thin it out for our glaze. Give it a little extra love. We're gonna pull our last donuts out here, our donut holes. And look at those chocolate donuts, don't they look good? All right. We got 2 of our donuts here. We're just gonna throw this glaze on there. You know what? Let's go ahead and just glaze it on up. That Cinnamon Toast Crunch is gonna go perfect with our glaze here. All right, so we're gonna let that sit for just a second, but in the meantime, let's try one of our chocolate donuts. That chocolate is so good. And I usually don't love chocolate covered donuts, but this was perfect. I love that there. Now we got our glaze. The Cinnamon Toast Crunch just added everything you need in a glaze. Perfect. If you like glazed donuts, you have to do this.